I almost forgot to add myself to the stage. What's up, everybody? How you guys all doing? I think there's only a couple people in here, so let's give it a couple minutes. I'm going to get a couple things set up. Hold on, let me turn this down, and I will be back right after this. It's been a while since we've done this. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Man, it's been a minute, right? Because here's the thing: I did a Last Mile season one, or didn't even really call it a season. We did it for a while, and then I did what I called season two, which was all live streams out of the car. I'm going to be doing a little bit of that, but it's not going to be called Last Mile anymore. Last Mile is going to go back to what it was in season one. And here's what I'm going to guarantee you, because there's some announcements I have coming up about what's going on this summer and whatnot. But what the guarantee I'm going to put on this is that every last Wednesday of the month, I will do one of these. Now, so like end of May, end of June, just getting through the summer months. But I'm also any other Wednesdays where I can book something or have something specific and cool, I'll do it. So it's not going to be a week. Don't come every Wednesday and think it's here, but there will be announcements up and you'll know when it's going to happen. We are going to have a second. We're going to, this is actually May, but it should have been the end of April. Can think about it that way for a minute. So we'll have one at the end of May, but we're going to have a second one this month too. And if you guys stick around till the end today, I will tell you who the guest is. And I think you'll want to know. It's actually been a long time coming. And yeah, let's go. So today I'm a little bummed. Let me say before we get into it, but I understand what happened. I'm only bummed because I was supposed to have a guest with me today. I've never had her on a live stream before. I've seen her in the chats before. Really nice person. She does Curri, and one of the really unique things is Curri is her primary app as well, just like it is mine. And I don't know about you guys, but you've probably noticed it's May of 2025. So I am 4 years on the Curri app now. And in those 4 years that I've done lives or Curri pieces, we've had girls in the chat asking questions. I've had girls that have signed up and done it, not in the beginning when it was all just huge loads, but like since there have been the smaller loads, smaller than DoorDash loads. But I've never had a female on the show to talk about Curri. And she does a lot of it. So I know she's under the weather, but her name is Michelle. Guys, I might get her handle wrong here. She was in the roundtable chat last night. It's like Michelle Hustles 24/7. And I was really stoked to have her on. We are going to have her on. She was excited to come on. So we'll be doing that because her perspective is from a much different market than mine, but I'll save that surprise for when we can get her back. So hello, chat. Hello, everybody in the audio podcasting world, on the replay, team replay, watching the video, listening and driving. I understand a lot of people might join in because here's the thing with Last Mile is that we always used to do it in the day or early evening, but the time messed around so much that like right now, Friday day, everybody's working. It is 1:11 p.m. Mountain Time. It's 3:11 Eastern. It's 2:11 in Chicago, and it's 12:11 on the San Andreas fault line. So everybody's working right now. This is a pretty, I mean, other than like dinners where a lot of us make our money on delivery platforms and other things, like this is a pretty common time for everybody to be working. But hopefully some people see that we're live, join in. Again, these are going to be coming back a little bit. And also, I am always open to having a last mile with anybody that wants to come up, that's been doing this, that's new to this, that wants to come up and have a conversation with me, like in a round table style. I might even do a couple randoms where I put the link up. And if you guys don't want the camera on, as long as you can show me backstage before I bring you on that it's really you, then I will bring you up and you can keep your camera off. And that's something that usually on my podcast, on the video side of it for all the platforms, I usually am not, I mean, if somebody's having a bad signal, you can turn it off for a second, but I usually promote everybody must have a camera on, because I think it makes it much more personal, because otherwise you can listen to the audio podcast, which the sound quality is way above this. So if you're just listening, but anyway, here's the thing, guys. So we're going to talk about Curri today, right? Yay. And I mean that, like, I love Curri. I'm going to have to say some real stuff today, but I still in no way do I not love Curri. I absolutely do. And I think those of you that know me, who was it recently? Oh, Ed from used to be the Taxi Stand Hour. Now it's Just Killing Time podcast. Taxi driver for years. Him and I have known each other a long time. And he knew me when I started Curri, and he had mentioned something a couple weeks back when he was on a live with me, and he said, man, it doesn't sound like you're not the same as when you were really like, you gotta be on Curri. I am. I mean, I've seen Curri grow in every way, but no matter what gig company you are, the growth comes with struggles, especially in this space too. So I think that with all the ripping we do, because the ripping we do are on the apps that constantly, literally are looking for ways to harm us, let us not earn. I think to the apps that aren't looking to do that, they're looking to make money. Any company is, but they are also interested in keeping the supply and the demand. Imagine a company like Curri, like this is now their biggest year with new clients. So we'll get into it, but I'm seeing a ton of offers, but there's a counter side to it. So we're going to get into some stuff. But it's Friday. I know you all are grinding, so we'll just kind of go through it. And anything you guys got, please put in the comments. If you got a question for me or one that you would like to see to get to the Curri team, one thing I always used to promote about this was that the Curri team will watch it. And we'll get into some things about support with Curri. But I want you guys to know that everybody who's always been coming to Last Mile knows sometimes they used to come into the chat. They stopped doing that, but they might even be watching live, but they won't jump in. Watch now today they will, but I mean, I know them all very well, but like the higher ups at Curri are often watching this show. So what up, boys? What up, Matt? What up, Savak? What up, Brian? What up, Alice? And what up the rest of the awesome team at Curri, because they all work very hard. And for those of you who are like, I got a bunch of complaints, well, we'll get to them. I mean, hell, and leave them, because like I said, they do watch these. And even if they're not going to watch replay of a live chat, leave your comment in the comments outside of the live chat. If it's a Curri question, or I'll see it in the live chat, I'll get it to them. That's part of the cool thing about Last Mile. So, okay. So yeah, 4 years, it's now May. I onboarded in May of 2021 to Curri. I actually did 8 months of promotion with Curri pretty heavily. About 4, 5, 6 months after I onboarded to it. And I really hadn't done a lot with it, except for because it was just getting in my market. And I did about 8 months and I got to have the CEO on twice on the podcast in their infancy stages. I knew about their growth rate. Every year, Curri has turned a profit. No other Uber, Lyft, Instacart, DoorDash, none of them can make a profit ever. Curri's been around for 5 years, and every year has been profitable since year one. You can scale it however you want. Even smaller apps like Curri, Curri's getting bigger now though, but even smaller apps like Curri, they don't make any money the first 5 years. So something in the secret sauce with Curri, no matter what your ups and downs with all apps are, something has worked since the beginning, because I'm still here driving too. And yeah, things, they fluctuate, but it's not near as bad as the other apps. So there's always an upside, and there's always a way to play it. So please, again, if you have questions, leave them. I'm gonna be going along. I got some words for newbies, and I got some words for veterans. And I really want to hear some feedback from the veterans as well too. So okay, let us start. Where should we start here? I had this all set up with Michelle, but I still have the topics. So offer volume in my market. Okay. Every year since I onboarded in 2021, every year the winter months are slower. Duh. Because Curri is, even though it's expanding its reach into some other things, it is 90+%, probably 95% construction, plumbing, HVAC, contractor work. It is that related, and you are doing B2B deliveries, even on a small scale. You might be taking a fitting for Ferguson Plumbing that's this big, that weighs a half a pound, and you might be getting paid very well to take it to somebody's house because it's the only piece missing, and it's called a hot shot, and they need it right then. Now, with the offer volume way up, they have picked up a lot of clients who, and I think this is very important. This is a great time to mention it. Everybody needs to understand. And if you want to understand it, how I was told to understand it when I first started working with the team was, well, go set up an account. So I actually recommend that to any of you. I'll even see if from Alice I can get some $25 coupons or first delivery free coupons for anything. And it would be like, instead of over, it would be under. Anything under $50, you can get it done for free. So like if you want a hammer from Home Depot, you can try it. You can log in as a guest, and I'll see if I can get you guys some of these before we do the last mile. And we'll give them out during this. And then I want you guys to go set up an account. It's free as a person who would be buying. So there's a couple different ways to set it up. You just set it up as a personal business, and you don't have to input EINs and all this kind of stuff. You might not even have those. Social works in its place, but you don't even have to input that. But let's get you guys onto the Curri side to see, because I constantly, for 4 years, I have heard that, look at how Curri's doing the pay now. I know we all work apps where that is absolutely how all of them work. Okay. And a lot of craziness happens in these algorithms that you just can't make sense of. He got paid this, I got paid this, half miles. I mean, you can stand side by side, 2 apps, all kinds of things. But with Curri, that's not how it works, guys. And that's why I would like to see you guys set up, those of you who really enjoy Curri, and are get a little bit concerned sometimes. I want you to go set up a customer thing. It's free. It takes about 10 minutes. You go to curri.com, and you just don't set it up as a driver, set it up as a customer. There's no charge, but see how it works if you want to order something, even, because you, the customer, again, we're not drivers here for a second. You, the customer, put in the bid price, and it acts a little bit like, I would like to see some of these, you guys know my feelings, because I was in the service industry, owned bars for a long time, managed, bartended, all that stuff. I understand it inside and out, and getting tipped after the fact. I never liked the term tipping on gig apps. And let's be honest, Uber started and didn't even allow tipping. Now Uber allows it, but they also allow you to remove it. But it's not tipping, you guys. It's on all these apps where you want food quicker, and you're going to put, and we all know about tip baiting. I actually don't hear of it happening too much lately. I do get emails occasionally that say, hey, I was tip baited again, but I'm hearing other weirder stories. But the fact that all that can happen is not acceptable. And why is because when you're shown the offer in the beginning, it should be completely transparent. It should show you the total miles. It should show you the total payload, what you're going to be carrying. And this, I mean, this goes for food too. Like most of us can just tell by the restaurant and the total, or I mean, we have enough of an idea, but for all apps, everything should be completely transparent. You should have all the details you need. Otherwise, there is no way you can make a partial, but you cannot make what is called a complete informed decision. You can't. If you don't have every detail, you can't do it. And so for the apps that do timers, hey, do you want this? Quick. Do you want it? And it's kind of a little messy on how you got to do the math and see if it's worth it and time of day and traffic and all this stuff. And for the apps that say, hey, this is what you're going to get paid, or maybe it's more, or we'll see what we pay you, or some shifty ones. I won't point any out at all, specifically DoorDash, but for those, that is a bid for service. When you see that number that comes up, that's what you need to be paid. If somebody tip baits Uber Eats and you took a $20 offer and 2 of it was from Uber and 18 or 20, it was 22. 2 was Uber, 20 was a tip, and the 20 gets pulled, you are still owed $22 because you did the job based on a $22 bid. I get that they call it a tip, but you can't show somebody something, even the tip part. You can't show it to them, say, hey, here's even as an independent contractor like we are, you can't say, hey, here's what we're going to pay you to do this job, and here's the amount of miles, and here's the work that'll be required. Do you want it? You say yes, you go take the time out of your day to do that job, and somebody can remove a $20 tip? No. That bid for service went in. And I've had people say to me, but that's not okay, because what if the service was horrible? First of all, most of the people, I have enough contact with people who use these apps where most of the people who have a bad experience do not tip bait. I've talked to them. They've even told me, dude, things like Uber Eats has been getting horrible. I'm trying DoorDash. I don't know. Or they have a couple decent experiences, maybe not even great, on Uber Eats, and then they have this awful one. And after the awful one, they're not going, give me my money back. They have the right mindset of, that sucks. Hopefully next time that won't happen. Call the company out for what you will, but most of the people who are claiming tip baiting, and this is in my opinion, a lot of times I have direct stats that I can use with you guys. I don't have one on this. It's just a feeling I get from all of the states I've talked to, all the legal representatives, all the lobbyists, all the lawmakers, all the drafters, all the workers. I mean, it's crazy. I know people in all these markets, and most of the people who are tip baiting, sadly, their plan is to tip bait. They just want their food quicker. They want somebody to grab it and treat it like a gold delivery because they want it quick. But that's the saddest part, is that this is almost planned out. Okay, well, let's put this in and we'll just remove it. So here in Colorado, and then we'll move on from this, but here in Colorado, we have complete transparency now. If I see something and a tip gets removed from Uber, Uber still has to pay me the full amount, and they have to take the loss if they want to refund the customer money or give them free meal next time or whatever. So, and that's how it should be. They are just a dispatch company, yes, but they are saying, hey, Steve, we're showing you this order. Do you want it? Here's the details. Do you want to take this? This is what it'll pay. Here's the details involved. Usually with Uber Eats, it's no, because it pays whack. But when it is yes, and I go do it in Colorado, that's what I have to get paid. If they were to say, well, the customer removed the tip, okay, you pay them. Now, again, I just said they're just the dispatcher, but they're being paid. And again, we can argue over the number. I know people who have seen, no joke, 70-30 splits where the 30 went to the driver, okay, on rideshare. I mean, that talks about the whole thing, though. But anything more than like 10% is more than you need to just run things. And of course, so 20%, 25% would even be in a realm if it were a fixed rate, because you need to pay employees and data and storage. And there are some factors, insurance, what your portion of it is. So sure, and you need to make a profit. But when they're taking these crazy amounts, I take that dispatcher and call it a hybrid dispatch system, because you know what? They need to say to you, like I tell their, here's my thing. Tell the customers, no, you can't have a refund on tips. I mean, they'll still come back to you. The customers absolutely will. The ones complaining are the ones you probably don't need on the platform. And even though many people would argue, yeah, but they'll take anything they can get, they want every customer. Yeah, but if one customer only uses it once in a while for a $2 ride or to scam their way out of it, they have data on all this now. So again, we need complete transparency. And every app needs to not have acceptance rate. So here's the thing. Curri doesn't have any of that. You can see as many offers as you want. You don't have to take them. You don't even have to look at them. They're round robin. And the way that they work is, it depends on the city, but 5 to 10 vehicles are in on each round robin. So in the first round, an offer comes out, and the closest 5 vehicles that meet the requirements of the payload at the pickup. So if it requires a pickup, you got to have a pickup, a box truck, a cargo van, a sprinter van, or up, or maybe a pipe rack. But otherwise, it's going to be SUV or down, or SUV and truck. There's different settings they can do. But if you get it to your phone, it means it's not roadies-ish either. It means it will fit in your car easily. And do you want to do this? So you're in a round robin with 5 to 10 people, and you see the offer come in. Everybody else is looking at it too. That's why if you want it, grab it quick. All the details are there. You still have to act quick, though, because this is a hot shot business. I mean, to put it most simply, like I have in the past, listen, this could be a roofing job, okay? A roofing job where they have a crew of 8, where normally it's 4 people doing this roof, and then they got another 4 at a building 2 miles away, but they need to get this building finished today. They will bring the other crew over there, and now they have a team of 8 roofers on top. So, they're getting the shingles and all that delivered, and everything's going up to the roof. And all of a sudden, or they take lunch, they come back from lunch, and all of a sudden they realize, oh my God, we don't have any roofing nails. No problem. Is it best to send one of their workers? And where am I going? No, it's best to get on a Curri. And again, the other B2B apps don't work in the speed and efficiency of Curri. And that's one of the main things, is to get on Curri and say, we need 10 boxes of roofing nails. Now, to us, I mean, that might be $7 a box. So $70 worth of product. And yet you might get paid on a Friday $100 to take that 15 miles. Not all the time, but you might. Okay, there you go. The reason is because you got 8 people waiting on that. Same thing with Sherwin-Williams paint. When I have 900-pound orders of paint in the morning, if I know the locations, all of them here in Denver, but the one that I go to the most, you guys have probably even seen me on live streams there. That guy down there, Brian, he's awesome. But if you're late, you're late, and he's pissed because he runs the mega store of paint for Sherwin-Williams here in Denver. But I mean, he'll help you get all loaded up, and you're doing a little more work. It's not always weight either. Don't get thrown off, people, but it's not always heavy weight either. It's so we can, you can pick and choose. You can see which ones. I mean, and now there's floral delivery nationwide. I did my first one 2 weeks ago. So, but yeah, I mean, I try and do the big pay ones. I really don't care about the weight. I do the MiLE thing, and I do out of state runs as well. So there's hot shots out of state. And then there's, a little more than going just out of state, like multiple states, which all of these can pay very well as long as you pick correctly. Let's see. So the offers are up, and I'm talking about, yesterday in Denver, or no, Wednesday in Denver, I saw, now again, when you're on a Curri, you see other Curri offers come in, but you can't accept them because you're on one till you complete it. So I accepted 3, so those wouldn't show. But out of the ones I didn't accept on Wednesday alone, this is just Wednesday, most orders I've ever seen on Curri to date in 4 years. 62 offers that I didn't take. 3 I did. That means 65 orders came in to my phone on Friday. Remember when 100 or 200 used to come into your DoorDash app a day, and you'd still you'd decline like 90% of them, but that many would come through, and now they don't. I get almost twice as many, sometimes more, Curri offers in a day now than when I turn on DoorDash. I'm just saying, guys. I mean, Uber Eats is a little different. They just have all kinds of trash going all the time. But this is getting wild. I mean, they are getting bigger. One of my problems with Curri, and again, Curri team, pull out your pencils, because every offer on Curri as a first thrown out offer should be $20. I don't care if it's going 1/10 of a mile, and there are some that are going 1/2 of a mile. That's it. I don't care if it's 1/10 of a mile. I don't care if I have to walk it across the street, because there's a little more involved, because you have to be a little more of an outgoing person. You can't just run in, demand food, run out. You gotta, you gotta talk to people, and they're cool people, but sometimes you gotta, it's just a little more work. But $20 should be the base minimum. I really hadn't seen any below that, except for maybe once in a million before. But this spring started launching a lot of initial offer 14, 16, 17. I don't know if he's still here. I hope he is. I saw Derek. Yeah, I saw Derek was in the chat, and Derek got on Curri not long ago. Mr. DSM. He's in my market. He had been on the wait list for 2 years, and people call me all the time or email me or whatever, because for a long time I had an ability that nobody else had. And again, I would have even removed it from myself had I not. I always have conversations with the Curri team, but even they were like this, because they asked me populate the, like when I was working with them, it was like, okay, so the main goal, populate every city with as many drivers as you can. Okay. Within weeks, every city had a wait list. That wait list during that same time period got to over a year. Even once I stopped, the old videos that had those promotions still were bringing them in. And there are, Chris Garage from Rideshare Guy, Sergio and Chris was on for almost 3 years in Buffalo, and he got off last year. Derek got off after 2 years. I get people all the time angry at me saying, like, I've been on this wait list for a long time. And anytime I told people, hey, go get on it, I always said, go get on it because you want to get on the wait list now. I knew there was a wait list. I never, ever told you guys there wasn't a wait list. I said, get on the wait list. Do it now. And so to the people who do it now, I have no idea how long you're on there for. But what I do want to say to people is, everybody gets to, like, and again, it didn't happen to me because I did it so early that I was onboarded fairly quickly, but I happen to know a ton, and I can understand that level of frustration because I have been on the wait list for only one app for longer than 6 months that I've ever tried to get on, and I'm still on it. I have been on Amazon Flex wait list for 3 years. Okay. That's my only one that I can even like say, oh, I kind of get it. But to me, it's not the same. I will get off it someday, maybe, and I'll try it, but I haven't really beat down the doors because I use other apps. But Curri is worth being on it. I have had people tell me I had an email the other day, but saying I've been on this wait list for 2 years, and I'm just going to contact Curri and tell them to take me off because they're never going to pull me on. Well, like I just said, Derek was pulled off after 2 years. He was on there for 2 years. And trust me, it kind of came at the end of that time when I had a little pull to help some people. And Derek's a friend. So, I was going to help him if I could. But there was by that time, there was nothing. That was 2 years ago. But I still kind of kept laying tracks. Hey, where's Derek at on this list? Like now they just literally have this list working. But I guess to my caveat to all this is if you're like, I've been on this for a year, I am not, I'm contacting him, telling him to take me off. Just know you're doing yourself a disservice because what if it's literally the next day you're coming off? You just don't know. Especially this time of year. Like, yeah, I would feel pretty safe in come like late November until like March. They don't take a lot of people off the wait list. Right now, till about June, they take on huge batches. And what that means is, as Gig Geezer, my good friend, what up, Funky? But as he says, there's too many thirsty people out there. So you get these new people on and they're taking these awful orders. I mean, awful. And Derek knows what I mean, because when he came on, he's like, do they all look like this? And I gave Derek the roadmap that I used to give all of you guys. So we'll start doing that on this a little more too, like what to do. I mean, put your questions there. I'll tell you what to do. Derek had like 3 questions. I set them straight and he's like, perfect, got it. I see David Roth in here, help David get off the list too. And he was, he had a few questions. I think I was in Austin working with Para and he's in Texas. And we actually talked on the phone. I think he was even going to come to Austin. But we had a bunch of stuff going on with Para and some other things. And he had a delivery going on. But we just talked through it and he instantly knew. So this last mile thing is good. We also talk about other apps on here, but today we got Curri. So, so to the newbies, like I was saying, please do not take every damn offer that comes through the phone. Right now they are, I mean, listen, if Derek was taken off a wait list that he's been on for 2 years, it means that they really took a lot of people off this year. Now, did they do that to oversaturate? No, that's the whole point of the wait list. I know how they do it. They do it strategically and they take people off the wait list either as would make sense as one driver leaves, one driver comes on or whatever their status. But the other thing is if they land a client, whether it be national or regional to your market, then depending on the size of that and the meetings they've had, they might need 1 to 5 to 10 new drivers on. So there's a handful of new national accounts. There's in whatever, it depends on your market, but many markets have regional new accounts going on. So they are onboarding a lot of people right now. And I know if you're not in Denver or David and Derek and anybody else who's on Curri in here right now, you guys, those two alone can attest. David's been on a little longer than Derek, obviously. He can tell you probably that, yeah, the offers are, it's May now. April, they start always picking up. May, they start picking up. June, I mean, then they start booming through the summer. But he can probably tell you the same thing, that the initial offer coming through is low. It's not where it should be. To put it into perspective, when I'm doing around town, now again, if you live in a town where you can get around town very quickly, or your town is rural, or it's not that big, but you can, let's say if the delivery is 20 miles and you got to use like 2 highways and you know exactly where you're going and the time of day, and well, that only takes about a half hour. Well, 20 miles from me in Denver can take 40, 50 minutes. So I have to look at this from a different perspective. So here's my basic math. I'll give it to you guys. It used to be a little higher, but now with the amount of runs, there's often, if I stay in the city, there's often a good chance that where I drop off, I'll get another pickup fairly quickly if I just chill there for a little bit. Because all of Denver has orders. It used to be little pockets, so I'd have to go back to a pocket. So now I can stay there. That saves me some gas. I'll get another one. But here's the thing. If you're working around town, for me, this is for me, I need $2 a mile for around Denver, but I'm looking for $2 to $5 a mile plus on all Curris I do around Denver. So, and by that, I mean Lakewood, Golden, Aurora, Centennial, Lone Tree, Broomfield, Longmont, Boulder. Any of the Denver Metro has so many areas. So by that, I mean any of the Denver Front Range area, I'm looking for $2 to $5. And I do it to pace depending on the time of day, how long it's going to take me. Is it leaving me in a place I'm going to get another one? Because if it's not, that's when I'm looking for the 5. If it's putting me right in the middle of like a bunch of places that are always like shooting off orders, I'll do the $2.50 a mile to get over there, because that's a spot where I'm going to see a bunch of offers. So that's what I do around town. Now, you guys might agree with the people that I talk to all the time on this. When I do anything over 50 miles, that's what I consider a long haul. And then I have done some extremely long hauls. I've done to Salt Lake City once, past Salt Lake City, almost to Nevada border once. I have done Montana. I have done delivery to Las Vegas. I have done 2 to Kansas City, and a few others, New Mexico, Albuquerque. So here's my math on that. And it's on these, it's gotta be, okay. I need to make, and I do it a little differently. I need to make $1 a mile going there, and I need to make 50 cents a mile coming back. Now everybody's probably scratching their head going, idiot, why don't you just say you need to make $1.50 a mile? Because I like to track it that way, because there's a chance of me. I always hope that I can find a couple things along the way, whether it be a roadie pharmacy or whatever that I normally wouldn't take, but on the way back, just checking every time I pass even a little city with a few pharmacies or something like that. Stop, have a little water, and check some of the apps where I might find something, a farm supply, where normally I go, I'm not doing it for that. But if I'm heading that way, because my hope is that I can get that other 50 cents back up to $1. It's just my way of thinking. Because if I think of it as $1.50 going, then I just go do it for the money and I just drive on haul right back. If I think of $1 a mile there and 50 cents back, I'm like, man, at least let's try and make that $1 a mile back. So I try and make up that 50 cents. And it lets me at least trick my own brain into thinking, no, this isn't a dumb thing to take this at 50 cents a mile when it's going the same way I need to go coming back. And again, I don't want to participate in a bad offer, but if it's there and I'm going the same way, I'm taking it. I just will never take a bad offer as a bad offer standing alone. Let's see. Again, I want to say this right now, guys. Make sure you leave comments. I know you're leaving them. I'm about to jump over to the chat here in a second, but make sure you leave them in the comments below the video, especially if you're watching this after the fact. Audio podcast listeners, you know what to do because you do it all the time to me. Steve@ridesharerodeo.com, and any platforms can do it. All you guys can do it too. But my audio podcast listeners love writing me long emails, and I'm starting to think some of them who have been writing me for years are starting to use Chat GPT, and not in terms of to clean up what they're saying, but literally just to make me read more. I accused one guy I've known for a while of it the other day. I was like, dude, are you using Chat GPT just to make me read a long book? And he's like, no, I just was rambling, I guess. And I really couldn't tell. But anyway, some of these guys write me the best emails ever. You know, they are the people who listen to the audio podcast are very hardcore on what they want to know. And they have very, very specific questions. So, and the audio podcast, for those wondering, it does 3,000 downloads a week. So it's bigger than my YouTube channel. For those that don't know, and I'm going to take this bow. Thank you. Because Good Pods last year said that I was the most downloaded gig economy podcast in the world. And I go to Podcast Movement. I've been a few years in a row, and I've participated in that on all the levels of speaking and some of the sessions and break-offs and whatnot. But Good Pods is one of the best analytics out there, and they're always at those. And they reached out to me, and last year, I don't know where I'll be this year, but it was nice. But okay, I'm gonna say hi to everybody because then we're gonna jump into my beef topic right now with them. What up, David? What up, Traveler? What up, Derek? Hey, Florida Hustles, how are you? And what's up, John? How you doing? I just got onboarded with Curri. How many opportunities would I have to accept before getting included in round robins? I'm a little lost because every offer you get is a round robin. Have you not gotten one? I mean, like you need to take some. Just don't take crap. Are you have you had any offers? What, if you don't mind, put what market you're in and or at least the biggest city close to you. Something gives me a little relevance, and then let me know if you've been seeing offers, because that's a round robin. When you see the offer come through, that's a round robin. So if you see it and it says and it has the orange bar and you see a little thing moving, that means it's still available to get into the round robin. Once it's a black line and says claimed, it's gone and somebody else in the round robin took it. Unless you're on the bid side. The bid side is for cargo or sprinter vans, box trucks, pickups with pipe racks, and any vehicles all the way up to semis, because yes, they do semi fleets. And so I'm guessing you're in Florida. Probably not, actually, because usually that's not the case. But Florida's a little bit tough with here's one thing I can say about it. Tampa does pretty well. Or Miami's starting to get a little more business. Orlando, I know a bunch of people in Orlando who just literally cannot get off the damn list. So I don't know what's going on in Orlando, other than I work for a production company. I was a employee for many years, but now I independent contract for them, and they're based out of Miami. And we do all of the Carnival Cruise Lines. We do all Toyota corporate, and our biggest client is Disney. We do everything Disney with lasers. And I can just say that B2B in Orlando and the Kissimmee area seems to be very covered, and it's because of Disney. I'm not saying that, it's all Disney stuff, even though most of it is, but like there's enough vehicles up there because of Disney and because of the amount of stuff going on, where I feel like there's a lot of B2B happening that doesn't need an app. But that's my opinion. I don't know that for sure. Derek's on a hot shot right now. Cool. Hey, Lynn, what's up? And they're mostly all being taken by thirsties. Yep. What up, Cruise and Dasher? How you been, bro? Let's see. Oh, you're in Minneapolis. Okay, I got another friend up there. We have a friend up there, Josh, who has been on Curri a while. And he doesn't see as many either. And he's been doing it for a bit. He's got some under his belt. But again, you just got to kind of wait. It's your market, man. Like Curri doesn't have a stronghold, because usually the strongholds are when they're, the best cities to live in, to work with Curri, are the ones that are going nuts with construction. Okay. And then it doesn't have to be that way, but the cities that are building a lot, or even taking down old things and renovating, or point tuck type work, you're going to get more work on Curri if your city is one of those. Okay, Lynn's doing Uber rides and listening. I know Lynn prefers when I'm in the car ranting, but not me today. I have a handful. I've seen a handful now. SUV. Okay, so I'm an SUV too. I'm a RAV4, John. I'm in Denver, and I see, like I told you, so 65 offers on Wednesday. Now again, it's partially placement. Again, the people seeing the round robins are to, who are the closest 5 or 10 to the proximity of the pickup. And there's no real way to be a true fishing spot about it. Yeah, I'm better than most at determining it in this city. However, you can't really, because there's stuff everywhere going on all around the city. So like Derek is new to the platform. I know that he wasn't seeing as many as me. Was that because Derek's new, or was that because I at the time was closer to the deliveries I was seeing? Derek and I would have to compare, and I'd have to be like, did you see these? And maybe he would even say, even though he's new, did you see this? And I'd say, I didn't see ever that one, meaning I wasn't one of the ones in the proximity. So I don't know. There's really no, you've been here longest, you're going to see it first. I mean, it's just round robin because it's a hot shot, just needs to go. We talked about transparency, but here's my big topic right now. Is the customer service. And I want everybody to be polite because, again, the Curri team watches this. They used to. Alice knows I'm doing it. So she very well, what's up, Alice? She very well is watching right now. Some of the other people see when I go live, they always check to see if it's a Curri thing. I talk to them and they're like, dude, I saw you go live like 3 times in a row, but you haven't done a last mile in a while. Well, it's coming back, guys. So maybe they'll be in here. And even sometimes you'll see them pop in. So, if you have a comment, constructive, don't swear, don't just scream. But no matter what your comment is, I have not known a better team than Curri to listen to you as long as you're not swearing at them and screaming at them. And I think everybody needs to realize that doesn't get you anywhere with anybody. I mean, if you're on the phone with most customer service agents of any nature and you swear, they have the ability to hang up on you, and they have the right by their bosses to hang up on you. So, and that just makes you more mad. So just chill, realize this is not DoorDash or Uber Eats or somebody that's going to screw you over or looking to and stealing your tips. Okay, just be calm. And even if it's a harsh comment, just write it thoughtfully and proactively. Write it as if you want an answer. That's how I'll put it. Because I read a lot of the questions that I admin for the Curri group on Facebook. And I'll tell you this, the official Curri group. And I'll tell you this, there are some people that come in there so aggro, I can't even read what they're writing. But if you write things nicely, and if you're like, listen, what's going on? This happened, that happened. Well, they'll listen to you and they'll reply. And Facebook is, and that's what I'm here to say again, for a long time, many of us became spoiled. I know David was caught the end of that, but he actually got part of what I'm talking about with the spoiled. I've been with Curri longer than the person I'm going to talk about here, but there was a person, Jesse. Jesse was brought in to be the driver advocate to Curri, and they didn't have one the first 2 years that I was on it. So there weren't as many issues. You were calling in, you were getting people just like you do in the beginning. Then they automated in some AI, went with a couple different companies. Things were kind of And then they brought in this guy, Jesse. I introduced, after I helped David get on the platform, I introduced him to Jesse. Those guys have exchanged messages back and forth many times, and he would solve his problem. Sometimes Jesse would add pay to our thing, and he would even tell us, that's all I can do. That's it. And that would mean that. I mean, but he would do things that nobody else could do. And he was literally going into these fighting force. He was with them about 1.5 years, and he did wonders. He moved on. He was the logistics officer for JB Hunt Trucking. If you've ever seen the 18-wheelers with the JB Hunt on the highways, he was the logistics officer for the United States for JB Hunt before Curri. Came over to Curri to be their logistics officer. And ended up being much more of a driver advocate. And now I'm not going to say, because I know some people really want to get in touch with him, but he has said to me, and I talked to him, so he has said to me, everybody, please don't be offended if you had his number and he's not responding. He has a kid, he has a wife, and he has a new job, and he really is just focusing on that. I'm sure there'll come a time or whatever, maybe, and we'll get him on here and, maybe not even be able to talk about Curri. I don't know where he stands with what he can say. I've talked to him off the record. They never filled that position again. And so now they have AI. I could sit here and maybe on the next last mile, I will run down every single issue you run into. I know the app inside and out. I was a beta on every version of the betas. I was a tester in front of all of the CEO, the CTO, all their people were giving me the new app 2 or 3 different times for like an hour and saying, okay, here's the screen. What would you do? And I'm looking at it and they're all like, it's almost like a operating room where a bunch of surgeons are watching from above. It wasn't other people. It was just me. And they're watching me in like a Zoom meeting. And they're like, what would you do? And I'm like, I'd click, I don't know. I'd click that. And they're like, isn't there something you'd click first? I'm like, no. I'm like, you're asking me. And I would click that. And then they'd show me and I'd be like, I didn't even notice that. And they would make changes. So we have a very, very good working relationship. But the AI customer support it can be very hurting. Derek had a comment too. Or one of Derek's questions to me this week when he emailed me, Mr. DSN, was, hey, what do I do when I'm dropping off and I can't take pictures and I can't complete the delivery? Because a lot of times you're going to new builds and there's no cell out there, or there's like a single bar, but it won't do anything. It might not even really be there. But he asked me, and I said, always, when you ever are in 2 bars, basically, if you have less 2 or 1 bar, even 2 bars, I sometimes get afraid that it won't upload it or you might hit glitch. Always go to your camera instead of the app. Take the pictures through the camera. They do prefer it through the app. So if you're in the city with a strong signal, do it through the app. Don't every time do it this way. But when you don't have a signal, always do it this way. Take the pictures, take even more pictures of your payload dropped off, the address, the house, take a couple pictures and drive till you have a cell and then upload them and then complete it. Sometimes you get a little hiccup there, but that one you can just deal with and you can put it in as a request. And, you know, I mean, you just got to roll with a couple things, but that's a good tip to know because I've had people standing. I have delivered out to Watkins, which is east of Denver, and being an area being built out. I've delivered Sherwin-Williams paint there for about 1.5 years, watching all of this being developed. And I think many of you who watch the live streams have seen me do my 900 pounds of paint, deliver it into the garage of a new build house, carrying these huge drums. And then I look over to the house next to me and guess what? There's 600 pounds of paint sitting on the driveway outside at 5:30 or 6 a.m. because these people didn't want to put it in the garage when every paint order, it's one of the few things with Curri, every paint order says, do not leave this outside. I mean, you're talking about like paint's like gold. So like they were outside. And I think some people have done it twice and they were both on live streams where I just said, and I just moved it all in for them. Because I think some people get a little worried about when there's new build houses and you're taking paint there and it says don't leave outside. Don't worry about it. If the construction crew isn't there yet, go up to the door and look in the window if you just want to make sure first and understand that all of these people coming in and out all day, there's no lock on that door. Just go inside, and usually they're supposed to leave the garage cracked for you. Somebody's supposed to come out and do that. But the bottom line is, who cares, dude? Go into the house, get into the garage. There's nothing in there for you to steal. So they're not worried about that. And construction people come all day. Just go into the house, find your way to the garage, open the garage door, put the paint in. Don't put it outside there. Because when I did move in one of the people's, there was his bill of lading, which was his delivery bill, and all these huge drums of paint. And he was stupid enough to put a Post-it on it that said, garage door wasn't open, so I left it. Dude, literally where his post note was, and I mean, I'm a little exaggerating, but it was so close to the all bold print that says, do not leave paint outside. It's almost like he went right underneath it, right where it said it, and said, who knows? You know, I mean, I went in there and did it for him. It's you got to use your brain a little bit. And I'll make a funny here real quick, because I finally found out a stat that I found pretty disturbing. Different spaces, different ways people handle themselves. But the number one, now I was told that this was going on a lot before, but the number one reason for being deactivated on Curri, the number one reason is people smoking pot at the locations. If you're stupid enough to go to a warehouse that has 48 18-wheeler bays is a very professional place, is doing high volume and has 6,000 security cams, and they're paying a lot of money for these Curri hotshots. Guess what? It's not even a roll of the dice. They're going to report you. And guess what? They always send the footage to Curri. And guess what? Alice from Curri always says to the person that she's going to deactivate, we're going to have to deactivate you. And she tells them why: for smoking weed in the lot. On top of it being the biggest reason why people get deactivated, she tells them that, and she was telling me, I don't know what it is now, but before it was at least 3/4. So let's call it 75%. 75% of those people, and of course they do. I would just expect almost no reply if you get that, but they reply, oh, that's BS. And, you know, who can I talk to about this? That's a wrongful deactivation. Alice ain't stupid. And when she sends that to you, I'm just giving you a heads up. If you ever get that email, know that if you respond to it, you damn well better be sure it wasn't you, because in every case, what she does is immediately send back the video of you smoking pot. One person had 17 angles sent to them, 17 camera views of them smoking weed. And she's like, you didn't, huh? So are they playing? No. Do they care if you do DoorDash? No. But are they looking to onboard DoorDash drivers? Hell no. Hell no. They want some people who don't mind a little work, who want to make more money. That's what they want. That's what the whole B2B space wants. And then you got like the roadies who are transparent, just like Curri, but they don't pay well anymore. When they were roadie, they did. When they became UPS roadie, they started paying crap. So, you know, you just got to play what makes sense to you. But again, there's no AR, there's no blah, 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 whatever. I'll see if I have anything else here in a second. But one thing I wanted to tell you before I leave this, we will get Michelle on here. Michelle, if you are watching this later, really missed having you here today, and I'm looking forward to it. All my notes are still here for when you do come join us. Later this month, like I told you, pretend like this is the last Wednesday of April. But the last Wednesday of every week for at least the next 3 months through the summer, I will be doing a last mile. I will probably do one, maybe even two. If they're going to happen, they're going to be on Wednesdays throughout the month. Who knows? I won't just do it on the spur, but I mean, I'll put up it's going to happen this Wednesday or whatever. But the third Wednesday in May, so 2 weeks from today, right? Yeah, 2 weeks from today, I have had the CEO on twice, Matt Lafferty. He's great. He's a CEO though too. At a point, 2 conversations with Matt were both amazing. If you guys have not seen them, go watch them. They're on this channel. They're great interviews, and Matt's a great guy, and how he founded this company, and it's a very interesting story. I know the CTO, Brian Savak, and who's kind of the person behind the scenes, kind of running everybody. But Alice has been such a good friend to me and to so many of us. She's been amazing. Alice Warner, or she's from France. So Alice doesn't actually live that far from me. Most of the Curri team lives in LA, about 80% of them. And then almost every other one, except for 2, the other 20% lives up the West Coast, all the way to Seattle. So they live all like the other tech people. But Alice and one other person that are pretty high up live here in Denver. Alice actually lives in one of the outskirt towns, but I won't say because nobody needs to know that. But I have lunch with her from time to time. Alice and I are friends. We've been friends for a long time. I mean, through Curri, but I've known her for 4 years. And never been able to get her on the podcast. Well, she's coming on the podcast this month. And it's Alice. I am Alice. She's French. She's amazing. She's awesome. When we did the town hall, she came and gave away so much free crap. You guys, and again, Curri stuff isn't crap either. All their tumblers, sweatshirts, hats, all their stuff is top of the line. She had boxes full, gave out everybody everything they wanted. It was awesome. But she's going to be on. And instead of bombarding her during that live, although it will be fine and you guys can put in your questions, but put your questions in this video that you have for Curri. And I will get them together in a rundown, because I know what, again, some people get, I just want to explain how some of this works. So like, if you put a very important question and a bunch of people like it in the comment, like, yeah, I want to hear that one too. And like, let's say it's the most liked comment in there, Alice might not be the person who can answer that question. So if we don't get to a question that seems like, dude, that's the one we all wanted to hear, I'll at least address it. And I'll say, I see that everybody wanted to know about this. This isn't Alice's division, but most of the things she can speak on. She's been there longer than most. And she is CSO. And if you guys aren't familiar, because there's so many acronyms, CSO is Chief Strategy Officer. So she does their marketing. She handles their onboarding. She handles day-to-day issues with customer relations. She does a lot of things. She does their marketing, their promotions, and she will be joining me here. Not just in the chat, she will be here. And to me, it's almost like having Matt on when I did. Matt, the CEO founder, he's great. And we had 2 great interviews. And I've talked to all the other people so many times, but I'm really looking forward to talking to Alice on a live setting with you guys. I will absolutely be asking a few people to be like super mods that day, because I'm not going to take anything of trying to slam Alice or Curri on that day. Again, people were adults. If you have a question, frame it as such. Be an adult. Speak your mind like an adult. Don't rant. Don't yell. Alice didn't break your toy. Markets are different. Situations are different. But if you put the question out there, I'll ask it. And she is a very kind person who will do her best to answer it. And if she can't, I will stand by that. And you guys know me to always tell you guys exactly what's up. I will tell you, that is Brian. Maybe we'll get Brian on here one day. I'll try and get the question to Brian. I don't mind doing that. That's why we were doing these. These were really helping for a while. So we're going to come back to these because it's Curri time, baby. It's summer, and we all want to see a little more money. I don't know about you guys, but I'm stoked to be on Curri. Again, I try and do all B2B work, but most of it's Curri. Every once in a while I go out for DoorDash or another, God forbid I have to do like an Instacart. Oh my God. And I see like that money and I'm like, what I just made in 2 hours on Instacart, in our market's horrible. Denver's horrible for Instacart, but maybe it paid for an hour and a half of my time to drive, shop, drive, deliver. Maybe it took an hour and a half, and maybe it's like a $19 pay. During that time, while I'm on that Instacart, I might see a 30-mile drive that pays $97 on Curri. That would take me about an hour, less time. So I think we all know about that. I guess, and the last thing I really would want to say to the newbies, don't take everything. If it's under $20, don't take it. I know a lot of you guys are doing the dollar to I talked to some newbies who were talking about the mile to dollar ratio. They're like, dude, it's only 2 miles and it's $14. That's $7 a mile. I'm like, it's going to be more of an endeavor, and you're screwing all of us who for 4 years have set this up. So, and it always does balance out. Some fall off because they take that. Some start understanding. But I want the newbies to know, don't take anything under $20. And to the Curri team, if you're watching, yes, I'm saying that. Go back to no under $20. I know that the customer sets the price. And I know that Curri has a way of incrementing that price because they know that was a low bid or that was a good bid. So that's why you see such rant, like, why is this one paying this and this one's paying crap and they're the same amount of miles going the same way? Because the client puts in the bid. So you know what? Just pick and choose at your will, and do the ones that make sense to you. But don't take everything, and don't take anything under $20. I see Tony in here. What the hell, Tony? Man, I love Tony. I do. He's my brother. He's in this market too. He's been doing Curri for longer than David and Derek. By the way, Tony, if you didn't know, Derek is on Curri now. We can fix that, Tony. And I say that, guys, don't think I have some kind of magic power. Tony was on for a long time. He was on the wait list for a long time. He got off the wait list at the town hall in 2023. He's been on Curri for 2 years and he didn't do anything wrong. And somehow I believe in switching his vehicle. Something happened. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to help him get to the bottom of that. That is not a hidden flag that I have the ability to help anybody get back on the platform again, though, because I was blown up with when I did have a little ability. So I'm telling you guys, yes, that was something. I had a little ability to help people get on at certain times, but that ended a while ago. I mean, I still have connections. If you're having some crazy issue, I can sometimes help you, Steve at ridesharerodeo.com. But Tony, I'm helping out not only because he's my bro, but because he's been on. He waited his time to get on. He didn't do anything wrong, and we just need to get him back on. So if you heard that. I did have a story, but it kind of relates to customer service, and I think I want to save this for either when Michelle comes on or when Alice is on, whichever one comes first. The next last mile we do, I will talk about this story. It involves one of the main national clients of Curri, and it's not a paint company. I will just leave it at that. And Tony, you got any bacon? But we will talk about that because I had, and I've got the story here and I won't forget it anyway, because it was one of the weirdest things ever happened to me on Curri. Happened a couple days ago, and it's a little bit of a drawn out story. So it might even be nice to have Alice be the one who I bring this up with. Cause I did tell Sevak about it and their support team. But Alice, I would like to see Alice's perspective in a real conversation to this, because it's important. It's really important. And I've gotten to know all the players. So when I talk about the company, I'm like, I'm holding their card right now. Maybe that'll tell you who it is. But that's the operations manager for the company for all of Denver that I have his card. And I collect these things as I've been going through the years. So I contacted him. And that's how I fixed my scenario. And it was a whole scenario. So we will get into that the next time. Let's see. Again, all comments, questions, concerns, put them in the comments below, please, people. Because if you do, it's anything Curri related, not even just to this video or whatever, just anything. You see that this video and you're watching it and you're like, oh, you didn't cover this. Put your question down there, especially now, because Alice in 2 weeks is going to be on this podcast. And I would love to have your questions and be able to go through them in time and know what I can. Again, I am not a person. Tony and everybody that knows me can vouch for me for this. I mean, if I could have interviews with I have CEOs on often of startups and other companies and Delivered and all the companies we love. But the big boys that like Sergio and Chris have on, I could never have them on because it would be one time and they would never come back. And by that, I mean, I have a very successful podcast that I can't not be real. And so I almost wouldn't, like Derek Hashashawi, CEO of Uber. I almost wouldn't want him on my podcast. And I'm not kidding. Harry, the rideshare guys, had him on, and they have a script of questions. So I'm good enough interviewer. I don't need a script. I don't want a script. I would never send my notes to the person I'm going to be interviewing ahead of time to make sure that they can redline the questions they're cool with. No. And that's kind of how those work. So it's real. We're going to have Alice on. She's going to speak some truth. And it's taken her a long time to agree to this. And she knows I'm the podcast that will keep it honest. And so all I ask is you guys put those questions in there. Get all your Curri questions in. For like Tony. Tony, do me a favor. Put in because maybe you'll get the ball rolling here. Put in the comments, not right in the live chat of this video, I still need to get back on Curri. Even something like that, just something where I can go, okay, yep. Then I'm going to note it down. Let's get everything out here. This is why we used to accomplish a ton with Last Mile. And I think those of you who used to watch know that. We used to get through a lot. And we'll go through other apps. We'll go through Fetch. We'll go through Dispatch. We'll go through medical things. But yeah. And starting next week, you guys, on Tuesdays, I got to tell you this, and then I think I'm going to see if you guys have any final words, put them in there now. But here's the thing. So next Tuesday, wait, where am I? Oh, they're there. Starts, if you were around in December of 2022 into early 2023, Hannibal and I did a 5-episode show called Beyond the Algorithm. And that it was what, about 2.5 years ago. And Hannibal and I have done a ton of collabs outside of just that too, but we did Beyond the Algorithm. I'm bringing Beyond the Algorithm back. I've already got the first 4 weeks planned out, and it's going to be a 5-week and then take a break and then do another season after a break. But they're going to be 5 episodes per thing. And this is going to be season 2, 2.5 years after the first season ended. But each week is going to be a different guest and a different topic. I've already got the first 4, and I'm going to show you guys what I got going. Clearly, who should my first guest be? Who should it be? For season 2, episode 1? You got it right. That's right. Hannibal. Why would it not be Hannibal? Come on, guys. And then, so, and I'm not going to say anything about this one because you guys will just have to figure out what are we going to talk about. But the following Tuesday, so this is next Tuesday, May 6th. The following Tuesday, May 13th, will be Gig Geezer. And as you can see, there's a title on this one, Investing in Yourself. We're going to be talking about, it doesn't have to be last mile cargo vans and things like that, but just stepping up your game and getting ready to to maybe try and get out of the shadow of some of these gig apps a little. Episode 3. You guys remember Let's Play DoorDash? That guy down there, Joe? Well, that's Joe from Let's Play DoorDash. Now he is known as Joe on the Go. And Joe on the Go is basically Storage Wars. He lives in Detroit. He buys storage lockers at auction and he resells them. So we're going to talk about that. And so that's on the, I don't know, what is that? The 20th. And then on the 27th, we have the most annoying person on the internet, Josh B. Just kidding. We all love Josh, but I think we all understood what I just said there. Josh, we love you, but you know what's up. You can be a pain, dude. But I'm looking forward to this with Josh because Josh asked me a long time ago about load boards and other ways on the internet to do independent contractor work like gig work that is pick and choose and on your flexibility, but that don't have apps. And we're going to go through those. And I'm going to show you guys how to find some of these and some places to start. And Josh is going to be my guest because he was the one who first asked me about it. So David, do me a favor. Any of these questions, copy and paste it and put it in, like when I end this stream here in a minute, put it into the comments of the video, because I want other people to see the comment, because then they can like it and go, yeah, that's my comment too. And then I can see like the popularity of the comment. All this will help me because we're going to have Alice for about an hour. But there was one other thing I wanted to pop up here. You guys, yes, sir. Lynn is a good friend of ours. Okay. If you're not familiar with Lynn, I know many of you have probably seen her around in chats and whatnot, but she's on Twitter a lot. On Twitter on Monday nights at, she said 7 Eastern. Okay. So yeah, that's because it's 5 o'clock Mountain. So 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Twitter. If you go to Lynn, you're going to have to put your handle in. God, I always forget I can never remember a Twitter handle, even though I'm on it for a lot of the independent contractor stuff I do. But Lynn, put your whole Twitter link in there so people can find you, because even if you don't go to Twitter much, every Monday night she does a thing called Drivers Coast to Coast, and it's in Twitter Spaces. If you guys aren't familiar, Twitter Spaces it's like a live stream where everybody can join in. You can raise your hand that you want to talk, or you can stay muted and just listen. It's a great thing. Check it out. Sergio drops by. I drop by. It's just, I always forget. I've been in there a couple times. I've never spoke. And I know next time, Lynn, maybe even this coming week, next time I'm there, I will make sure, because I always see it in passing. I'm like, damn it, I'm on my way to do something. But I always want to like jump in and at least say hello and support her, because she gets a good group of people together over there and they have real conversation. So check it out. So you guys, that's it. We are back. Season 3, episode 1, Last Mile. When Last Mile happens, it will be on Wednesdays. And the time, I'm not sure about. Is it every Wednesday? No. Is it every last Wednesday of the month? Yes. Can it be every Wednesday of the month? Mm-hmm. So the only thing you have to know is on Wednesdays, there might be Last Mile. And then the last Wednesday of the month, there will be. So, yeah, no problem, Lynn. I think that you guys have some good conversations over there. And I think that it's a format where all of you should feel very comfortable jumping in, because there's no cameras, there's none of that. It's just like avatars, and you can raise your hand, or you want to speak, or you get thumbs up when you like something, and you're just part of the conversation. So check it out. So you go to x.com / at drivers C2C. Oh, wait, what? What? Which one? I'm getting out of here, Lynn. You got to tell me. 1 or 2? 1 or 2? I'm guessing she has both, but which one's I think this is the one you need to go to on Mondays to hear the Coast to Coast, but it might go on Lynn's channel too. But hey, you guys, that's a wrap for this episode. We are back. I want to thank all of you for joining and listening. And there's a lot of stuff coming up, by the way. I've got a couple other projects I'm doing as well that are going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. And I got a members only thing going. So if you're not a channel member, become one, because I told even Gary Middleton, who's a very dear friend of mine, the other day, he's like, what is behind your members wall? Because as we know, a lot of people have members, like you can become a member on their channel and nothing happens, or they even say nothing's going to happen. That's fine. Maybe you just get access to some avatars. I don't care. What I do care about is when they say that you'll get this, and this, and you don't get any of it. Like what I say is you will get member only content. I told Gary Middleton the other day, I just passed over 650 members only videos on this channel. So if you're a member of this channel, there's 650 members only videos. And we're going to be doing some lives. So, I mean, I really do try and make it so it's worth it. And it's more intimate, like the podcast, the audio podcast that I record every Monday, and it drops every Tuesday on every pod player around the world. I record it on Mondays, and I have been doing it on YouTube and then making it members. But now I'm going to record it on YouTube for members only, and it will drop at the same time the audio podcast drops the next day. But if you want to be in the conversation, become a member, and that way we can even talk through the whole thing, because I won't have too many people in there where I can't address everything. But if you've ever watched the podcast, I can get very ruthless and rude. It's a lot different from some of the other things I do. But hey, it's just, I get very real because the audio space allows me to say anything I want. It ain't like some of these other social platforms. But you guys, remember to be safe out there, earn smart, have a great weekend, be good to each other. And let's see, when's the next time I'll see you all is well, on a live, I'm not sure. If you remember, Monday, and if you're not, 13 drops tomorrow. Don't miss it. 13, and share 13 out, you guys. I got everybody from the big companies watches 13. I mean, they watch 13. I know this now, and I talk to people directly. So anyway, hope everybody is doing absolutely super fantastic. And we will see you next time here on The Last Smile.